I made it to Senator's Wash, and my friends have taken up most of the beach area here. And also, they're up here on this point as well. And it's beautiful, and I'm glad to be here, but there are huge clouds of flying bug things. We didn't have those the last time. It wasn't warm enough when we were here before, but now it's getting up to the low 80s. And when it gets to the low 80s in the desert, you get lots of bugs. But it's beautiful. I've missed this view.
Trailers for sailor and rooms till at 50 cents. No phone, no pool, no pets. I ain't got no cigarettes on the 2 hours of pushing broom. Buys a 8 by 12 4-bedroom. I'm a man of means by no means, king of the road. So as I leave you now, please remember me this time. I'm the man who played the song for your nickels and your dimes. Hey, you saw me play as I passed along the way. Gypsy song man, passing by. So we'll save a bluegrass song for when he gets back.
You've got plenty of bluegrass.
Well, that's true.
Is that the teacher?
Look at all these paddle boarders. That's cool.
I could not figure out how to stand up on that.
Hope you're gonna get waves. Waves. You're welcome to stay a bit.
There's a well-beaten path by an old mountainside where I wandered when I was a lad. Where I wandered alone from that place I call home, from them blue ridge hills far away. I love those hills, for Virginia, from those blue ridge much as I did wrong.
Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in a sycamore tree. A little green of me. Stars fading, but I linger on, dear. Still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn. Just singing this. Sweet dreams till Sunday, find you. Sweet dreams that leave all worries far behind. And in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I linger on, dear. Still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger.
Your love is like a stop sign painted green. Should I stop? Should I go? Baby, I don't really know. Your love is like a stop sign painted green. Well, you call me on Saturday.
Come on over and let's play. We'll drink wine and dance the night away.
But an hour later you text me.
Can I have a rain check, please? I will call you later in the week.
As I ride on you them crying. Yippee-yi-yo, yippee-yi-yo. Ghost riders in the sky.
One thing we really love about this place is that there's just so much opportunity for walking and exploring and hiking. Very little of it is actually flat, which makes it more interesting. Although, the one thing that we really enjoyed doing is going up to this flat, I guess, I don't know if you call it a mesa, whatever, and then hiking all the way over to the dam, which is down here. And that's such a beautiful area. It's got that whole kind of wildlife, nature reserve. Just beautiful. Lots of birds. And look at how high the water is right now. It's extremely high. It pretty much came up to my doorstep, within about a foot or so. And now it's receded a little bit again. So it only came up that high overnight, and now it's going back down a little bit. But we lost a whole lot of real estate, but you gain all this beauty of the water. I love when the water is up. Really, this place is really gorgeous when the water is high like this. I'm leaving my beautiful little spot because one of our friends left, and look at how dirty my windshield is. Yuck. And I get much better reception down the beach, but I will miss this little spot. That water's gone down a lot in the last couple of days. The beach is back. But we are saying goodbye. Time to leave the beach. We've got stuff to do. Have to head up towards Parker. And most of our friends are staying, but I think most of them are coming eventually. In the next few days, probably. Some might stay longer because it's just too beautiful to leave. But yeah, On the road again. See you next year, beautiful, beautiful lake. Check out the old Baskin Robbins sign. It says Baskin Robbins 21 flavors. It's pretty old. Have you ever camped amongst a bunch of cool old rusty tanks? Well, I hadn't, not until last night anyway. So right over here, back towards the mountains, there's a road, and I think it's called Shiriako Road or something like that. You can take that road all the way from the south entrance of the national park. There's an exit off of the interstate for the south entrance to the park. And right when you get off there, you're on BLM land. And the BLM land stretches for several miles along the border of the park. Basically, once you get to the mountains, you're in the national park. And but you can take that road all the way from the south entrance all the way over here to Shiriako Summit. And you can park all along that road. But as I was coming down, that's where I had planned to camp, was on the BLM land. But every spot that you could get into was taken, which is surprising. Normally it's not that crowded, but I don't know. It's time to go to the national park, I guess. A lot of people here camp here so they can go into the national park. But at the end of that road, there is a little free campground, which is this right here. You can park some big rigs, as you can see in the background there. The spots are fairly small, but certainly big enough for my van. And there is a campground manager, which that's him right in the middle there. You can camp here for free, and if you're just staying one night, you don't even have to check in with the campground host or campground manager. But if you want to stay up to 7 nights, you have to check in with him, and he's a friendly guy. He actually came over to talk to me, and he just wanted to know if I had planned to stay more than one night and to warn me to keep Olive on a leash and keep her close to me because there's lots of coyote activity here. And yeah, even though the Interstate 10 is right there, you can see it, you can't really hear it. I guess it's because of the way the wind is blowing. I hardly hear it at all, which is pretty nice because it's not even a mile away from where we slept last night, but pretty quiet place. A great night's sleep. It's dark, relatively quiet, and free. So they do have little fire rings, so I suppose you can have a fire. So they are big enough for bigger rigs, like you can see in the background there. But if you need a pull-through site, I guess there's only really one, and it's not even really a campsite. It's this little turnoff right here. These people didn't want to unhook their car, apparently. Look at how far off the ground the front end is. That's crazy. You get good reception here because they have their own cell tower right there. But look, right behind where I'm camped, there's a bunch of old tanks, which is pretty cool. There's 7 of them. Yeah, pretty neat. And you can see the back of General Patton there under the flags. This is the Defenders of Freedom Remembrance Wall. And the Vietnam era remembrance wall. I think it's all soldiers from the from California. This one, Coachella Valley. That's where Palm Springs and that area. The museum is actually really cool, and I'm not going to go in it. They do charge. I forget what it was, maybe $5 or something like that. But it is quite interesting, even though I'm not a military buff or anything, but I still found it interesting. It's the General Patton Memorial Museum. And I think what I liked the most were these tanks over here to the side, which you can only access if you pay to go into the museum. And not only do they have tanks from our military, but they have tanks from Soviet Russia, Soviet Union, which I think is pretty fascinating. But yeah, they have a lot of military vehicles and tanks. So the Desert Training California Arizona Maneuver Area, this is a huge area. A lot of this still exists. There's a lot of military around this part of the desert. There's still the Proving Grounds, which is down here somewhere, and then the Chocolate Mountain Military something or other. And then up north of Joshua Tree, there's a big military base, and yeah, but there used to be even more. This is Shiriako Summit, which is a pretty busy place because it's the only place to get fuel between, I guess it'd be Indio, California, down near Palm Springs. And then I don't think you get another chance until you get to Blythe, California, which is right on the border of Arizona. So it's quite a long stretch. So this is like the only option for gas. But it's also just a neat little place to stop and rest. I showed you the military museum, which is pretty cool. And then they just have lots of interesting artifacts everywhere. And they also have a gift shop, a cafe, which I've eaten at, which is pretty decent. The semi is revving his engine. But look on the sign, it's welcome to Shiriako Summit. 24-hour food mart and gas station, restaurant, gifts and souvenirs. Faster's Freeze. Oh, they've got a post office, U.S. Post Office. Travel Information Center. Antiques. Red Headers. I don't know what that is. Need to move closer. Speed equipment. They have an airport, the museum, ATV experience, and dry camping. That's where we stayed. Pretty cool. And they just do a really nice job with all the trees and plant life here. And if you want to camp here, you just turn on this little dirt road, gravel road, where the sign says dry camping. And you just come, it's basically right behind the museum. Go beyond these tanks here. And yeah, you can stay up to 7 days. Pretty nice. I really miss Senator Wash and the water. You know, after spending a few months in the desert, it's like all you can think about is getting near water again. There's a saying, to some it's just water. To me, it's where I regain my sanity. And it's true. You know, it's not the only place where that I feel that way about. I feel that way about the forest too. And but when you're in the southern Arizona desert, there's no forest. There's no forest anywhere close. Yeah, a little bit of water in the desert, it's everything. And I spent a lot of time there this year. And now I've been back in the desert for a couple of days, and I miss it. Thank you, Shirako Summit, for a nice stay last night, and definitely keep it on my list of places to camp in between LA and Phoenix. And if you're in a big rig, there are a couple of empty lots here at the same exit.